we've got the perfect cure for the winter blues with the prizes in this week's competition. Our top prize is a Sony PlayStation, together with a copy of the new shoot-'em-up Lone Soldier to play on it. You're on your own in this game as you fight against a bunch of terrorists that want to take over the world. And what about a good old laugh? Well, if you're one of the 5 lucky runners-up, you'll get a set of 20 comedy classic hits on video, starring that hilarious duo Laurel and Hardy. So if you want to win this week's first prize, call our competition hotline and answer this question. Spock is a Klingon. Is this A, true, or B, false? If you think you know the answer, call 0891 44 44 99. Your call should cost about the same as a first-class stamp. Please dial carefully and remember to ask the person who pays the bill first. The lines are open till midnight on Thursday, and all the winners will be selected at random. We'll put up the question and number again at the end of today's show. So get dialing, and good luck. Emotions run wild in this week's big movie release. Julia Roberts, alias Grace, has a picture-perfect existence. Or so it seems. Beautiful child, caring husband, classy kind of lifestyle. But then she spots her husband romancing another woman.
God help me. Eddie! Eddie! I can see you! I'm getting rest! She is, you know, a woman who's been married and she has a child and she works for her father and she's sort of, going along the course of her life in a rather, bored kind of way.
And you don't know what it's like to be sitting there with your child while your husband is making out with someone on the street. And you don't know how it feels to be made a big fat fool of in front of everybody. So please, don't start with I know, because you don't know.
And he's a, you know, he's a sort of a decent person underneath, but he's does some bad behavior, you know. He cheats on his wife and he gets caught.
I would just like to know if anybody else here has slept with my husband.
Sometimes a man doesn't know the value of what he's got until he's lost it. You follow what I'm getting at?
All this causes Grace to reconsider her traditional family values, which have always been dominated by her strong-willed father.
Now, I talked to Eddie again last night. He wants to make amends. Now, he's willing to do whatever it takes to work this thing out.
The marriage or the deal?
Don't you get smart with me.
It's a legitimate question.
Talking to your sister.
I know. Just following along in the conversation.
I think they all sort of enjoy a good conversation.
I'm not saying he hadn't done anything wrong. He knows he has. But he's a good father and a good provider, and that's not so easy to come by.
Then you marry him.
I think they love each other in spite of everything. Whether they can get the trust back is another story.
If you don't love me, I wish you'd just go ahead and say so. I know I'm a disappointment, all right? I'm a disappointment to myself. You think this is what I want to be? I've done exactly what's been expected of me all my life. I worked for my father, for God's sake. So do you. I mean, look at us. We both turned into exactly what we swore we'd never become.
I think her expectations are high. I think that she is going to start expecting a lot more from everybody.
Remember how we used to make each other laugh? You ever wonder if we could ever get back to that?
Let's deal with this right now.
Eddie, no. Eddie, this isn't funny.
I just have this passion for truthful stories, and the stories that have observations on human behavior and that tries to create comedy out of just observing the irrationality of human behavior and human emotions.
Well, I've got to go now before you start to notice my emotional, irrational side. I'll leave you with a sneak peek at Annie Lennox in concert. See ya.
These rollerblades, this is their second time around, and we've got police blocking all of the roadways in. So I think our cars are probably sitting out there with Band and Annie in them and not able to get in now. Where are they coming from, the limos? From the Parker Meridian.
We're live here in Central Park, where reportedly the tickets for the Annie Lennox concert were snapped up within 10 minutes of being offered to the public.
And we'll be taking another look at all the latest news, reviews and previews at the same time next week here on Grampian.